Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I'm aboard the HMS Norfolk, and that is a cruiser of the British Royal Navy that I haven't featured yet. And today this offers me the perfect opportunity to talk about frustration. Now, if you are a regular viewer of my channel, then you have noticed the lack of videos over the last couple of months. I always try to come back, but especially now, this is one of the phases where there is nothing left to do for me and there is no new stuff to present, and the old stuff is just more of the same, and I just look through it. I can't make videos about anything interesting in Blue Water Fleet. Coastal Fleet is just a burning shit show. Currently I'm really burned out on anything army related. Helicopters are just a no-no for me, and also aviation is something that I have avoided to present over the last couple of months. I think the last video is over a year ago. So ships it is, and even there the views have been so low recently that it is better to make no videos, because I don't get any real support from Gaijin anymore, especially compared to what I used to get. And that just was just a bit of a problem for me as a YouTuber, but also as a player. There is barely anything that I can really touch that isn't either absolutely frustrating, unrewarding, expensive, or bugged. For example, here a lot of the ships that have torpedo tubes with reloads, so spare torpedoes, they have now a bug that they launch multiple of them at the same time. The best example is the German S701, the reward patrol boat that has 8 torpedoes, and if you launch a single torpedo, you actually launch the one that's in the tube and the reload within a couple of seconds apart, and there is nothing you can do about. So what should I do? Feature the bug? I'm not really sure about this. And then there is now this battle, and in this battle for a very long time a lot of things will go right for me. I don't get targeted, I can enjoy the 12 seconds of reload for those 8-inch guns, and I have actually a down tier because I'm 5'7". So despite the HMS Norfolk not being the best of heavy cruisers, it certainly isn't the worst, but even in a full down tier it has some of the disadvantages, and this is where I end up as being on top of the leaderboard of my team. My team will actually play around the caps, and I have all the advantages. Add to this the premium account that I am top of my leaderboard, and as a negative, if you will, I only don't have a talisman on this, and the results, despite the best of my efforts, are just not satisfying. In fact, they are actually quite frustrating, and so I'm not quite sure what to say about this. Okay, I'm prioritizing here all the ships that go near A so they don't cap it and give my team more time to play around B and C. We are on a technically numerical disadvantage when it comes to the big ships, because so many of our team are actually going for B and C, which is a good thing. I can reduce the numbers by shooting at the destroyers, then firing on the cruisers that are actually actively playing. So target prioritization is a thing, and yet I just don't really have all that much fun. And please remember that this ship has only AG and SAP, and I would love to have at least the option for AP rounds. Even though they might not be the best, but I need something versus targets that have some armor, and the SAP sometimes just doesn't cut it. Versus destroyers and targets with little to no armor at all, this SAP is great. It's fun, it's effective, and also amongst the heavy cruisers at around this battle rating, this ship has 8 guns with 12 seconds reload. That's the same as the Admiral Hipper class, including the Prinz Eugen, which I consider to be one of the best heavy cruisers, but that ship now, or both ships now have the big disadvantage of being useless because they enjoy all the up tiers. So they absolutely at 6.0, due to the compression issues, enjoy all the up tiers. And coming back to frustration, so there are just a handful of ships that are actually worth playing throughout all the naval nations that we currently have, and there is too much compression. Then the stock grind is horrible. Stock HE rounds are the biggest punishment with how bad there actually are in naval forces. It's an absolute punishment. Even the best of the HE shells just do little to no damage. And honestly, I'm in a state where I have grinded now basically everything. There is no patrol boat and no blue water ship that is left to grind for me. Just some are left for spading, and for them, honestly, it's not worth the effort because the RP requirements, especially compared to what you get even if you are on the winning team and have a really good result, is not worth your time, which is really sad. And so if you now look at the current battles, what's the current state? I feel like a lot of people are not playing their premium ships. I feel a lot of people are also waiting for new content and or playing air forces and tanks. And so despite having at this very moment 140,000 active players, I still have sometimes queue times in Blue Water Fleet of 3 to 5 minutes. That's quite a lot. And even then, a lot of the team list is filled up by bots. And I'm not talking about players running bot programs. I'm talking about the quote-unquote official bots. You know, the ones that don't have a clan tag, that don't get any sort of score points, even if they get a kill assist, or a cap. You know, those with the plain names. And this indicates that I'm not the only one having a bit of a problem with the current state of naval forces. But it doesn't matter, because with the next update, the next wave of new big ships get announced that then come closer and closer to the big names like Yamato, Iowa, King George V, Bismarck, Littorio, you name it, right? And maybe even the Dunkirk for the French, who knows, who knows. So this is where, from the perspective of a player, I'm bored. I have nothing left to do, and it's absolutely not fun playing this. And from the perspective of a YouTuber, I absolutely have no idea what to show you, because this is also, thanks to the torpedo launching bug, not really a good time to investigate all the torpedo mechanics for the torpedo guide that I intended to make for, I think, half a year now. And also, even if I make a video like this one, basically the views are so low that Gaijin just will cut the support even more than they have already. And so it's factually better to not make a video in order to keep the average views higher up, which is absolutely infuriating as a concept. And I'm in a downward spiral, and it's absolutely not my fault. Well, it kind of is, because I was so stupid to specialize on ships, which have been quite the sinking experience over the last couple of years. And even though Gaijin made some improvements compared to the issues we have, we are in a state where it's not looking good. Also, the outlook for the next couple of months, patches and years is also not really promising, because there is no real new concept behind anything. And I'm not quite sure what's left there to say, unless you count now this duel. Look at this. I'm stationary. This guy in his Grauspee, I guess, which respawned in a backup, he's just now focusing me. And I have some good aim, my salvos will hit home, and because this guy is just slightly angled, the belt thickness and the strategic depth of the ship, if you will, are just good enough to deny me the ammo detonation that I need for a quick kill on this guy. I also can't take him out with meat hits, so with hitting the superstructure, hitting the machinery to bleed the crew like that to cause flooding. I just don't have the DPM, I don't have the alpha strike, I don't have the penetration, and I don't have the armor to withstand his fire at all. So what I am is basically being just a little bit of a super large destroyer from his perspective. And if he would do the right ammo choice and keep his secondaries operational, he could inflict serious damage really quickly on me. And yeah, I die, and I have nothing on this guy, and he's the same battle rating as me, and the Graf Spee is not really known to be a glorious experience these days, is it? Especially in well, whenever I see a Graf Spee, I prioritize it. Why? Because it has some really nasty guns that, if hit, can penetrate anything and overcome any armor known at this battle rating and even higher. Those are really nasty 11-inch guns. On the other hand, it's only 100 millimeters of belt armor, no turtleback, and so I can, in theory, detonate the ammo on this guy really easily. But I have only SAP, and it's just on the edge of the useful penetration versus this guy's armor and angling at this distance. So you can see I don't really have all that much fun. He has taken out my barbettes on the frontal firing group, so I have a lot of fun. And then he sets me on fire. I have to interrupt the repair. He has taken out one of my turrets, you know, and then I get targeted by this guy. Now I'm below 10% and I have the autofloat mechanic, which is one of the most stupid and frustrating things that ever has been implemented. And the only thing is that I get now a revenge kill on this guy, which I could have done earlier because, well, yeah. And so I die. So nearly 3,000 score points, 6 kills, over 10,000 damage dealt. That brings me in the 45% bonus RP category, but I need even more. And one quick little side note here about this ship, that is the HMS Belfast at 5.7. And even though this ship is not known for being one of the most popular premiums, it does its job because it has so much more DPM because of 12 guns and faster reload and, yeah, actually some armor. This ship can withstand the meta better and actually gets more result in terms of kills, damage and whatnot. And with winning the game, having a premium account, being on the top of the leaderboard, head and shoulders above everybody else, only 5,400 RP for a heavy cruiser. That's not even a battle cruiser or end of the line battleship, and it basically gets me one and a half modules. So there is a lot of frustration, and this is why nobody's watching the videos. As a content creator, I can't do anything. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the current state of naval forces. As usual, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.